Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam, my pronouns are she, her. You may know me as MarroomyCrafts on Instagram or MarroomyDesigns on Gumroad. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a channel about cross stitch. Sometimes I talk about other crafting endeavors, and today I actually will have a little bit about something else other than cross stitch. I'm a cross stitcher and designer, so I will talk about some of my new designs that were recently released as well. So welcome to all of you who have returned. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for sticking around, subscribing, liking, comment. To those of you who have just joined or just checking out the channel, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. If you have not yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, and stick around. It's fun. I usually record once a month, and if there is any special releases, I will have a Flosstube extra in between those monthly updates. Before talking about cross stitch and what I have enjoyed in the past month and what I'm planning to do this last month of the year, before the new year, let me talk about what is happening in the community. In this segment, I usually like to highlight events that are happening in the community, things that everyone as the community can come together and partake in, anything fun that's going on, any fundraiser, and things like that. So what is happening in the community this month? So you may be familiar with Stitch for Pride that has been happening in the past, I would say a couple of years at least, and it has been hosted by our Stitch Dad, these 20 stitches, and they have been putting together these like list of prompts and activities, a charity organization that we can donate to, things that we can learn about, things about history of queer community, different aspects of and different branches of different groups of queer community, and people would do the thing and stitch the thing, but they have gone actually a step further this time, and for 2024 they have put together a sale, which is awesome. If there is a sale, I'm in. So yeah, they're put together a sale this time, so you actually can purchase it. I actually will leave the link below. You can go to their Kofi shop, and you can purchase the sale from their shop directly. They also pulled together an alternative listing for those who maybe don't have time or they're not interested in doing the pattern, but they are interested in learning part. So they want to learn about different things that are related to queer history and all the information that are really useful. So they are interested in that part, but they don't want to do the stitching necessarily. So they actually have two different listings. One is for the learn along, and the other one is for stitch along. So of course I got the stitch along. Stitch along will come with the learn along as well, so it's like a combination of both. And also there is a thread pack by Knitting Nurse Jasmine, and a fabric by Jessie from Mislaid Pages. So yes, it's awesome. I already know it's gonna be awesome. So what else is happening in the community? As I mentioned, I'm a cross stitch designer as well as a stitcher, so I have been designing a storm. I would say I'm like rage designing and rage stitching in the past month, and you will see like from the amount of things that I touched or started, and it's all because of like what's happening in the world, and people process their grief and their anger and their rage in different ways. How I cope is turning all of that negative energy into something really positive and beautiful to look at. So the patterns that I came up with, they actually released 3 different patterns. One is Defiant, the Humble Hawk, which is a pattern dedicated to these 20 stitches. They do a lot for the community, and also they have a special sale on their birthday, which is Flip the Birth Sale, and for that I wanted to do the ultimate let's do the extra. Let's do the extra option, which was not only doing a bird, but also actually designing something special for that occasion and naming it after Dee themselves. So there we go. If you're looking for that pattern, which by the way, it looks like this. It's not on my Etsy shop. You cannot find it on Etsy shop. This is, for now, is exclusive pattern, and the way you can access it is you can go to Dee's Kofi link, which again, I'm gonna put their link down below for both, for various reasons. We're gonna talk about it more, but their link will be down below. You can go and donate to their Kofi, buy them a coffee, and it should be a fancy coffee because it's a birthday coffee, right? So you can still do that. You can go donate $10 or more to their Kofi, and then you can email me, and my email is below, listed below in the description box. You can email me the receipt of your donation with the mention that this is for the pattern, and then email it to me and I will email you the pattern. That's how you can access that pattern. That's the only way you can access that pattern. The other thing that I released in the past month was in honor of our first snow here in Chicago, and it's called Oh Fun, and it looks like this. So yeah, I'm a sucker for grumpy cats. I do have a grumpy cat. You don't see him because he's hiding. I don't know where, probably under the bed. You know, cats. And then the third pattern that I released, I just released it recently, is my new sal, my first ever sal that I'm releasing. It was released on December 1st. So that one is listed in my Etsy shop, and the Oh Fun pattern is on this Etsy shop as well, so you can go and purchase it. And the sal is on Etsy shop as well. It's a mystery sal. Right now you have access to the border. If you purchase, the listing price is for the sal as whole. So you basically purchase it. As soon as you do, you will receive the border drop, then you will receive the rest of the drops in your email. So it's really important that you leave your email address in the note box before you check out. So definitely leave your email address in the note box so I know where to send your the rest of the drops. There will be 12 drops. Some of the drops will have alternative options, so you will end up with more than 12 ribbons or bands that you can fill in your patterns with. I explain all of this in the separate video that I made specifically for this pattern, but yeah, so if you can go check out that video. It's right before this one, and see all the details about it. All right, so enough about that. So let's talk about stitching and other crafty things. So first, let's start with finishes. So I made I mean, this is the only one that I have left. No, actually that's a lie. I have this one left too. So I made a few project bags. I posted about it on Instagram, and you can see them there. So I usually do this, which is turning, and this is was from Therese, I think, from Bendy Stitchy, and I usually do turn my finishes into things that I like to actually use, which includes project bags a lot of times, because I like to be able to touch my work, right? So yeah, so that's one of them. I kept this. This was supposed to go to one of the Stitchy friends, but as you can see, it's a little wonky, and you know, so I kept it. And this is the other one that I have left. The rest are with my friends. You know, I made a few project bags to send to a few of Stitchy friends, and this is the inside. This is specifically for a project that we're gonna, when I say we, is Quad City Needle Minders, which are Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery, Julie from Julie in Stitches 16, and Sarah from Motcross, and me. So we were talking, and we do have like a monthly Zoom, and during that Zoom meeting we were talking about different things, and then the concept of turning lemon to lemonades came up, and so this is why I made all of us lemon project bags. So the idea is for us to put a project that is a lemon in our eyes in here, and then we bring all of them in one of our Zoom calls, and we talk about it, and we come up with a solution of what to do with that project. Yeah, and also I made all of us thread bed. Yeah, the only finished project that I had was a staff, so I start and finish. So I'm an Ada stitcher, or have been Ada stitcher. I insisted on not wanting to actually start stitching on linen, because I was like, why should I make stitching more difficult? Ada is easy, and there are so many different colors. Why should I stitch on anything else? Well, I stitched on linen. This is 36 count antique white linen, and I have stitched a full card scissor fob by Modern Fork Embroidery using anchor thread in 0044, which is this dark red. Yeah, so that was a practice just to see how I fare, and you know, not bad. And this is my back, and I need like the rest of this to like fold and turn this into scissor fob. So that was it in terms of finishes. The rest are combination of starts and webs. Alright, so I started my unicorn pattern. Like unicorn in terms of, I have another unicorn, but this is a unicorn pattern in terms of out of print, hard to find, and all of that. And it's a Stitch in Time by Work Basket. I've been searching for this pattern forever, and I will talk about that in my investments section, but for now, so Michelle from Bendy Stitchy, Michelle Garrett, she actually sent me her pattern. This is a working copy, by the way, for me, lend it to me so I can actually stitch it, which is super generous. And I also received, like on different occasion, I received fabric hand dyed by Dee, which is this 18 count beauty. So I started stitching on it, and no, this is not called for. The called for is all like beige and cream and blue. I'm going red and gray and blue. So this is my start. Let me show you my threads. So my threads are a combination of Silks for You, Cottage Garden thread, Threadworks, and Night Stalkers. Night Stalkers Calling. So that's these are my threads. Yeah, I'm super happy about my choices and how it's coming along. Next is the Namari Tapestry by Modern Fork Embroidery, and this is Lord of the Ring inspired pattern. and I'm stitching it on 20 count Lugana in Sunflower using Sanjo Silk. So let me show you my progress. Here we are. I love the combination of, yeah, here we go. Now it's less washed out. I love the combination of gray and yellow. I find it really beautiful. And this is the silk I'm using. Next, so again, the whole reason why I did that linen stitch that I just shared with you, the finish, was because I wanted to stitch on a specific fabric, and I did not know how to get there because it's in 40 count linen. Yeah. So I started, let me see if I can find the actual cover photo for it. Yep. Hoop, there it is. I love this pattern. Yeah. It's from Heartstring Samplery. And wait to see the fabric. Oh, yes. Just look at it. Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, it gets really washed out when this is more true to color. But look at these tiny, tiny stitches. Tiny. So I started stitching on this. I do need magnifying glasses to be able to actually stitch on this, and good lighting. But it's manageable. I can do it. So, well, I was so excited I forgot to tell you what fabric that is actually. So this is Picture This Plus 40 count linen in Huntress. This is Huntress. And I'm stitching in Mystery cotton floss in cream. Next is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. And I am stitching this. This was my birthday sale in 2023, and I'm stitching it in Not Called For. This is my own palette. It was a challenge that I actually challenged other people to do the same, which is choose one thread and then create a palette based on that one thread. That is usually hard for you to stitch and to find something to stitch, and use uncalled for, unusual colors. And I am stitching on 18 count color and cotton in Rosewater, and these are Sulky 12 weight, combination of solid and blendables. So I'm more than halfway done. I really like to finish this before the end of year, but we'll see. I mean, with the number of things that I have started, who knows? Who knows if we ever get there, but you know. Then I stitch on my model. This is different from any other model that I have worked on before. Usually when I work on my model, I have like a really limited number of hints and sneak peeks, but for the majority of the time I'm stitching, I keep it a secret. And then when it's released, then everyone can see it. You know, it's a surprise. This time around, this is a journey for me because this is a special pattern close to my heart, close to who I am, and because of that, I'm sharing my journey of stitching it. So here it is. It still is in a hoop because I'm still working on it. I mean, I have to finish it because this will be released on January 4th, which is my birthday. So I need to finish it before that. and I'm stitching it on 18 count unique fabric. I know it's amazing. Every time I show this, people ask me what fabric is this. This is by Banana Oil on Etsy. She has one of a kind fabric, so when she creates a fabric, that's it. If you buy that piece, that's the only piece you get. And I have been working with her behind the scene and trying to see if she can come up with something with the same spirit, because this one cannot be recreated because she doesn't have recipe. It's like an artwork for her, and she just creates art pieces, and that was the case with this. And it has all these beautiful colors and specks of like rainbow colors, and it's called Mushroom Rainbow because of this is obviously the gray beigey tones to it. And yeah, I absolutely love it, and my unicorn is looking fantastic on it. And there are a lot of etoile in this design. I'm using a lot of etoile, so all these unicorn heads in the border are in etoile. Majority of this is in etoile. The horn, eye, mane, there are a little bit like pieces in here that are etoile. The white is not, that's the DMC. The rest, like the black, is DMC. There will be more DMC colors in it, but yeah. Next is the Defiant. This is my start on Defiant. Look at the tiniest start ever. And I am using silk. Majority of it is silk with the exception of one. And this color, this is sort of like a synthetic silk. But I am going to take all of that out and replace it with regular DMC because this is nightmare to stitch in. Yeah, it's not good. So I'm not gonna torture myself with that. So the fabric is 22 count Bestitchme in Lunar. Next is a Sal. I told you I can't stop myself from joining Sals. This is another example of that. So EJ and Nitya came up with the idea of stitching a Quaker pattern, specifically 1 Dozen Quaker pattern by Rosewood Manor, as a year-long Sal. And EJ divided it into pieces, 12 pieces. So the stitch along is for 13 months, but there are 12 pieces. So basically you will have 1 month to catch up. And yeah, so first let me show you the pattern. So the pattern is 1 Dozen Quaker. It's not that big. I think it's 121 by 121, which is not that big at all, considering a lot of other patterns. So it's doable. I am using Sanjo Silk again, this time in moth. It's a moss color. It's a really mossy color. I love this kind of like green. So beautiful, right? Wait until you see the fabric. So the fabric is from another genius fabric dyer, Jessie, Mislaid Pages, and this is called a red tail. Right. So it has reds and greens and yellows and blues in it, and it's beautiful. And I have been into tone-on-tone stitching lately, and this is somewhat tone-on-tone stitching because some of the specs and colors on the fabric actually matches the thread that I'm stitching in. So there will be parts that are like you don't see that fabric be the thread and the design pop. I actually like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. The pattern itself is in multicolor, but I am just stitching it as a monochrome. And this sale is started on December 1st, so you're welcome to join. I mean, just get your pattern and choose your fabric and thread and join us. And lastly, this one has a little bit of a story. So I was notified about the great round robin, ink circle round robin late. So they already had teams because it was on it was discussed on I think Discord by Michelle Bandy, and I don't really do those lives. I don't join those lives mainly because I watch Flosstube and videos related to stitching when I'm stitching at night. So usually it's around the time that when they record is around the time that I'm not watching. So yeah, I missed it, and they had their teams, and I saw their progress, and was following along with everyone, and it sounded like a lot of fun because a lot of these mandala patterns that Ink Circle has is a 4 repeated corners. So if you stitch one corner 1/4 of the pattern, I mean, it's like if you had stitched the whole thing, you will get the same satisfaction and you're not going to get bored. So when you do a round robin, you end up actually stitching on 4 different patterns, and at the end of the day you will have a finished product for yourself, and your friends have stitched on it, so it's even more valuable and precious at the end. So I really like that idea. And then Julie, Julie from Julie and Stitches, she reached out to me and said like she is looking for people to join, and she hasn't had luck to find anyone. I said, look, I'm in. I want to join. And then I posted on my Instagram, if anyone is interested, come DM me. And immediately, within like minutes, I had like I was flooded. Like I had like 4 or 5 people like reaching out. They wanted to join, and the first 2 that reached out, which they got the spots, were Tara and Julie. We formed our group, and we were talking already about fabrics and threads and patterns, what we have in a stash, what we were hoping to stitch, blah blah blah. And then Julie reached out to Rachel, I think, who is the organizer, and they said, well, give us address and the fabric and we will put you in groups. But we were like, no, we want to stay in this group. So we are deciding to go rogue. So hashtag team rogue round robin, and that is what's happening. So we all have all different counts and different kind of fabrics, but that's okay. And that's exactly why that was another reason why I wanted to start the stitching in linen, because everyone in the group were planning on the stitching on linen. And I was like, you know what, how hard can it be? So let's give it a shot. And it's not that hard. So I'm super excited. I love that we decided to start rotating at the end of January. So I have a little bit, around 2 months to finish my quarter of the pattern so I can actually send it to the next person. So I chose Victorian license. This is charted in so many different colors, but I'm actually doing it in monochrome. And I'm doing another tone on tone thing. So I'm stitching it on 20 count Lugana in raspberry, and I'm stitching 1/1 on this. So this is raspberry, which is this beautiful color. This is my tiny little start. right here in the corner. And I am using a Sulky 12 weight in grape wine, which is 4033. So this on that. So yeah, it's tone on tone. As you see, some parts of it will get like, it's almost the same color as the fabric itself, but the rest will pop. I don't mind that at all. I don't have any issue with that. So that's the end of all the stitchy things. And but that's not all I did in the past month. I also crocheted, and crochet is something that I used to do like years ago, and to cope. And it's relaxing. It helps with my anxiety and blah blah blah, all of that. But since I started stitching at the end of 2020, I actually left all of that alone. I haven't been crocheting at all. And I did first diamond painting and cross stitch, and now it has been exclusively cross stitching and designing cross stitch, and that's it. So in the past couple of months, with genocide and atrocities that are happening in Palestine, I have been having issue coping and sleeping. I haven't been able to sleep. I have insomnia. That's something that I struggle with, and I have had issues since I was a teenager. But recently it has gotten worse, and also it has been tied into my anxiety. It's a vicious cycle. I have anxieties specifically related to my sleep issues. So not being able to sleep triggers my anxiety, and then having anxiety triggers my insomnia, so it goes round and round. It's a like vicious cycle. So in the past couple of months I haven't been sleeping, but then in the middle of that there were like a week, or I would say 10 days, that I barely slept at all. Like I didn't sleep. Maybe an hour and a half or something like that. But that would be it for whole night. And by the tail end of that 10 days, I was delirious, because your body cannot function without a sleep. Our bodies are not designed to go on and on without any sleep. We do need a sleep to reset our mind, and I have not been able to get that. So after a while, when you are, fun fact about having insomnia, after a while, after you don't sleep, you start experiencing symptoms that are actually really similar to being under influence of alcohol. So you will act drunk without actually being drunk. So guess what? During one of those nights when I actually was feeling really drunk, and without having any alcohol, never had any alcohol in my whole life, but nevertheless, because of the insomnia, I could not sleep, and I was having this like moment that I cannot remember, and I know that I was doom scrolling on Instagram, and then one of these ads pops up. It's not an ad, it's like a review. Someone had purchased a whole bunch of yarns from Joanne that are pride colors. And guess what I did? I was like, oh, interesting. Wouldn't it be great if I make a blanket out of these colors? And then guess what I did? I somehow go on the Joann's app, and then I place an order. I calculate how many skeins I need, and then I place an order for skeins of Community, which is the Ace colors, and then Confidence, which is Pan colors, and Inclusivity, which is the Pride, like regular rainbow, and Black for the as a divider between these two, so I can, you know, connect these two with the black in the middle for the border. So yeah, I ordered I ordered all of those. So guess what? I started a blanket. Let me show you. I'm using a 4.5 millimeter hook, and here is where I am. It's a corner to corner C2C lap blanket, so it's not going to be that big. So this is what I have. Yeah, and it's soft and it's squishy. It's not the best quality of yarn by any means, but to be honest, I don't care. This is for office. I'm gonna take this to my office, plop it on my chair, and when it gets cold, which will get cold because our office is one of those old Chicago buildings, and its weather is unpredictable. Some days you go in and it's like walking in a fridge. Actually, a wall of cold air like hits you in the face. And then the other days you go in and it's like a sauna. So you both need fans and heater. And now that I have changed space and I'm in a new spot in the office, I have access to like these two big windows beside me, which is great. Daylight, awesome. I was waiting for that moment to get access to window, and now I have access to window. But that means that it's freezing. So I would have this blanket there, either like folded, use it as a shawl, or just plop it on my lap when I'm sitting at my computer. So yeah, I'm almost done with this third. I caked up the yarn, so I'm almost, this is like what is left of the third skein. So I will say I need 4.5. No, this is what is left of the fourth one. I finished third. Yes, this is what is left of the fourth one. After this is done, then I need half a skein to go, and then I start reducing. It takes 4.5 for each half of it, so total of 9 skeins for the main part. Then it will be a border of black, and then it will have an edge, like a secondary border in the pan colors. And I'm using these to make a scarf, so there will be scarves. Alright, so let's talk about a Stitchy Kindness investment, and then a couple of shout outs, and then we can wrap it up. Okay, so a while ago, I mean, I always make comments on these videos, and they usually pick one of the comments and then send out something to that person. That's how I got actually the fabric that I am stitching is Stitch in Time on. A fantastic fabric. And then this time around, I left a comment and I won this. So they had an extra copy of this. I already opened it, of course. As always, it came with one of these awesome DC like cards with a note. And it has a kit inside, a free kit for this ornament. Then it's the actual magazine, and the reason why I am really excited is because it has this pattern, which is, if you're familiar, this is Tetris, which is a Palestinian style of stitching. Let me actually find the page. And it's from Deco Ilian, a Palestinian designer. That's her. And this is the pattern. So this will be start at some point. I mean, I have started so many, I don't know. And they included this. This was a surprise. It says queer on it. I am queer. This is queer. I'm going to make this for my office actually. So, yeah. It's a kit. I've not opened it. Let me open it. So it's a whole kit. So it comes with, so the kit is from Modern Cross Stitch Kits of Junebug and Darlin. It has a hoop in it, threads that you need, a couple of needles, pattern, Ada, a felt, and another felt, like different, no, that's the batting. So these are for the finishing. Yeah, so thank you, Dee. Now, so that's all of the Stitchy kindness. Now on to investments. First, I'm gonna talk about a few items that are not really Stitchy related, but craftivism related, because they're still handcrafted. So first item I'm wearing, this is a keffiyeh, which is a form of like woven headscarf, shawl, has a cultural significance. All the symbols are really intentional and cultural, has cultural meanings, and this is a specific symbol of freedom for Palestine. So yeah, this is her from her bobby. Her bobby is one of the last, I think it is the last factory that still creates these keffiyehs in Palestine, in the West Bank, in the city of El Khalil, which I mean, the occupied name of that, the occupation's name for that city is Hebron, so you may know it as Hebron, but this is from El Khalil. And I chose this rainbow colors. I could not buy this directly from her bobby because everything is in back order and is like, everything is out of order for now. I know they announced that pretty soon they will open their pre-order, so keep an eye out. I still am looking for their regular, the white rainbow keffiyeh, so that's happening at some point. But I found a seller who is, they have like a they sell her bobby, they buy directly from her bobby, and there are it's a Palestinian owned shop, online shop. So I bought this from them, and the package came, and if you are interested, it's the name of the shop is Maison de Orient. This is the name of the shop, and they mainly sell perfume oils, handcrafted perfume oils. That's their specialty, and then they do keffiyehs too, so just a heads up. And they sent me a couple sets of perfume oils samples, just as a thank you, and they smell divine. I mean, a few of you have met me in person, like really few of you have met me in person. You may have noticed that I have a strong obsession with perfumes. So I am heavy wearer of perfume. I never go out without it. So, and this is oudi, sandally, like that sandalwood kind of woody, smoky scents are my jam. And this is that. I don't know which one, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. There are 5 perfumes in this, but just the smell is divine. And there are 2 more in here, so they gave me 2 more like baby samples as well. So yeah, so this Black Friday I made 2 purchases, both from Palestinian shops, just to support them. One was this order, and then the second one was with a jewelry brand named Zudo, and I got 2 rings of it, same ring in 2 different finishes, and I explain why. So this is a ring I always wear. This is from another Palestinian brand that I really enjoy their jewelry. I've been wearing this for ages. It has not tarnished, changed color, even there's no scratches on it either. These are all gold plated, by the way. And so I love this, but I don't want to go without the sentiment. So on this there is a verse of Quran, and if you see, there is engraving on it that says فَإِنَّمَا الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا, and with hardship comes ease. It might sound a little strange to hear, but it's the idea that the promise that God gives you, that if God gives you hardship, if you are in hardship, you're experiencing hardship, there is a promise that it will go away and there will be ease after that. So it's a message of hope. So I really like to have this on when I feel down, or especially stressed, or I have issues at work, or whatever. It's a good reminder, and I play with this a lot at work. So I bought the same like message. It still says the same thing. So I bought these 2 rings. These are wavy, so I'm planning on wearing them like this. So of course I'm not going to wear all of them at the same time, but like the idea is I'm going to keep this one on. So yeah, that was my Black Friday shopping. Now on to a Stitchy investment. Okay, so I showed you like a piece that is related to this order that I'm going to show you. I placed an order with 123 Stitch when I was purchasing 40 count 8. I have to get in the habit of saying linen. So 40 count linen. So the first one you already saw, it's Huntress. I also purchased, this one is in Swamp. Again, picture this plus. And this one is Newcastle linen in Stormy Night. Yeah, it's in Stormy Night, which is this gray. And of course you can't place an order without buying a pack of needle. This actually Bowen 28, a size 28 is my favorite needle, so I always purchase a pack just in case. Then I place an order with my favorite one of my favorite fabric sellers on Etsy, and he carries his own hand dyed, but also some Zweigart fabrics that I don't see anywhere else, which including Lugana, 20 count Lugana that I love to stitch one-on-one on. So I bought a few pieces. One was the raspberry that you already saw and I started using, and this one is deep blue. This is tabby cloth. So that one was Lugana. This is tabby cloth, which is more malleable and softer than Lugana, but it still is even weave, and it's 18 count in evening rose. This one is Lugana, 20 count. This is dark chocolate. These are all Zweigart, by the way. And then black, Lugana black. I purchased a few scissors because you can never have enough scissors. And also because now that I'm starting like 101 projects, I love to have a scissor in each of my project bags with each of the projects. So I needed more, so I bought these black ones. And they have the tip protector. So I bought 3 of those. And then I placed an order with D again because I was intending to send the pattern to a friend who requested it. And when I was there, I said, well, why should I just buy one when I can buy 2? One for me, one for them. So I purchased the Beverly Glen sampler. This was exclusive to the Stitch North, and now it's available on these Kofi. So I purchased 2 of these. The other one is already sent out to my friend, and this one is mine. Then I placed a few orders with Modern Fork Embroidery because I was looking for a small pattern to stitch on linen. So that scissor fob that I showed you, it's one of the patterns that I purchased. So I also purchased the Autumn Flower pin cushion, which is this one. The Cranky Owl, which is awesome. This one is the Songbird. And this one doesn't have a name. It's Folk Flowers. And this is Quaker Medallion, Bird in Grapevine. Right, so yeah, so that's that. Then I purchased a couple of charity patterns. A lot of our designers are designing patterns for Palestine and donating the proceeds, like 100%, to different charities. So I know Yasmin from Yasmin Made with Love had stitchers for peace, which looks like that. If I'm not mistaken, this was in exchange for $10 or more donation to PCRS. So it's beautiful. And then Hip Stitchers had again, same thing, donation to, I think, PCRS. Palestinian flag cross stitch. I mean it's, can you, yeah, so that's how it looks like. If I bring it, it doesn't have a cover, so I have to hold it back. So then I'm still on, I have alert on my eBay account for any work basket pattern, and a couple came up for really reasonable price. and I was interested in one, but they were in a pack of 2, so I basically got both. This is the one that I was interested in, which is Morbid Pithies, and I saw Michelle Bendy have a stitch that. So one says beauty is a flower, fades in an hour, and then the second one says bear in mind your dying day. And this one is more of a spring scene, the one about beauty and stuff, and then this one is winter scene. So yeah, so this is the one that I wanted, but I mean it came with the bonus of this one. Pithies. This one says, brethren, the time is short, and then be not weary in well doing. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna actually stitch the coat. I may actually change the coat. The pattern itself is cute. I don't know if you can see it. So these are actually, so it's 2 patterns each, so I end up with 4, essentially 4 patterns. And then I purchased also from eBay, I don't know who showed this on their Flosstube as a book that they bought in thrift store or something like that, and I was intrigued by one of the patterns in it, so I purchased it. This one has 30 different antique samplers, and the good thing is that each of it introduces a style of samplers, and then it has one antique sampler as example available to stitch. Let me show you the one that I actually was interested in. Here we go. This is the pattern that I was interested in, the Quaker one. So yeah, it has a lot of patterns that are pretty good. There's some that are really old school, like the one on the cover, but you know, I love the border. I might change the colors. I'm not interested in alphabet. Yeah, so I might change, like add a coat or something and then change the colors. You know, you can make it goth, you can make it anything. You can only stitch the border, which I think, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just stitch the border and then leave the center completely empty and just have a coat stitched in the middle, right? Doesn't that look like a good way of stitching this? Yeah, and I'm gonna just change the color palette, you know. Yeah. So then a miracle of miracles happened. So as I said, I have notifications on for anything work basket. And then I go to Office, open my computer. First thing that pops up is a notification from eBay, letting me know that about an hour beforehand, a listing went up for a pattern that I have been looking for ages and happened to be lent to me. I'm telling you, the speed in which I went to eBay and hit, and the seller, I'm sure the seller had no clue what they were selling. I mean, I take it back. Actually, they had some clue of what they were selling, but they were underestimating how high of a price they can put on this pattern, because I have seen this go for sale once before, and it went so up and it was ridiculous. But this one, so they set it up to be able to be as like a bidding, but they added a buy now option for a high price. But I thought that they could have priced it at higher, and there was a possibility that it would have gone higher for sale if they just stuck to the bidding and did not add an option for buy now. But guess what? They added an option for buy now, and there was a person who bid on it. Original listing price, the bidding is started at 99 cents. Who does that? I have no idea. It was a joke. So the person who bid on it, they bid for, I don't know, 10, something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just buy this because I cannot handle the back and forth and bidding war that this will bring. And someone else will come along and just buy it. So I could not risk it. I just hit purchase now. And here it is. I have my very own copy of A Stitch in Time, my unicorn pattern. I am so happy. Yes, it hurt because it was expensive. I paid a good penny for this pattern, but it could have been higher. And let's be honest, if it was higher, I would have bought it anyway. So here it is. A Stitch on Time, my own copy. I have already sent back Michelle's copy, and because I already made a working copy from Michelle's, I already opened this. I know this is like untouched and all sealed, so I'm going to keep it that way. I have my Stitch in Time. My collection is complete, so I'm really happy. I know it's ridiculous, it's just a pattern, but you know, sometimes we get obsessed with our stuff. So that's all of the investments. Now I have 2 shout outs. One is for Jerica from Daybreak Stitcher, not Daybreak Stitchery, that's Nitya. This one is Jerica Daybreak Stitcher. Long time I have seen her post and comment on Instagram for a long time. She's always interacted with me. She's always pleasant. And then other day I saw her posting about her very first Flosstube. So hopped right on and watched her episode. I think now she has like 4 maybe episode already out. She's great. She stitches on so many different things. I like her vibes. So yeah, Daybreak Stitcher. And then the second one is Suki from the Brown Eyed Stitcher. So she is the most fascinating stitcher I have come across. It was on my suggestion page, and hasn't been on my radar for the longest because she mainly stitches on full coverage, and that's not my forte. She has all sorts of max color, max size, heaven and earth designs patterns that are enormous and beautiful. And she is actually, what is it called? Fantasy library or something like that. It's a beautiful, huge, I mean, when I say huge, she has to stand up, open her arm, and hold on to this, like, almost done. There are like, I think 5 rows, 5 shelves, or 4 shelves, and she has one last one left. She has finished the rest, and it's an impressive thing. Watch her last video. She opens that up. Every time she opens it is an event. It's a feast for your eyes, and it's absolutely stunning. The amount of work that has gone into that project is so impressive. It's so impressive and it looks beautiful. That is something that I will never do myself personally. It requires a lot of patience. I don't have that. I want to see something done like as quickly as possible. I'm already struggling with the number of whips that I have and the kind of whips that I have. So I can never imagine myself actually stitching on a project that big. And she doesn't have only one. I don't know how many she has. She has so many. And there's so many like epic max size, like tapestry size. In a way that if she decides to hang all of these, like if she finishes all of them and she decides to hang them up, she needs to live in a castle. That's the only way that she will be able to hang all of them at the same time, because they're enormous and beautiful. So yeah, so Suki from the Brown Eyed Stitcher. So lastly, before I leave you, I want to talk about Palestine. I've been talking about Palestine. We always talk about Palestine. If you have been on my Instagram, you see that I have like 1,000,001 posts stories about Palestine. I almost exclusively use my stories for sharing and highlighting Palestinian stories and the struggle that's happening. The other day, I think it was yesterday, I came across a video that basically explained, it gave me a aha moment. So I would like to share the sentiment of that video. The person was talking about the struggle of keeping hopeful, being hopeful, and keeping the energy to continue on talking about Palestine when you see that it's like screaming in the void. So there are so many people on the street, there are so many demonstrations, so many calls to Congress and Senate representatives and our government, like actively, not only our government but so many other Western governments and even Arab governments are just either ignoring or aiding Israel, and that's appalling. It is appalling, and no one cares about all the lives that is lost. No one cares, and it's really painful to be in that position, to feel like you're the only one who's screaming about this thing. You're saying the house is on fire, the house is on fire, but everyone ignoring it. So reality is the house is on fire and we are sitting in it. And some people are ignoring it. They're pretending it's not happening. And that's heartbreaking and that's frustrating. And you feel like you're screaming in the void, and you can get disappointed or lose hope and say, what's the point if no one is listening? Reality is we are not doing this for our lifetime. We are not really. The hope is for the next generation and the generation after that to have an easier time to keep up the fight, and hopefully they will reap the rewards. They will achieve freedom. As negative as this idea is, it actually is freeing, because it results in me adjusting my expectations. My responsibility is to keep talking and keep spreading the words and keep the story alive, right? You have to keep telling the story so the others will know it and not forget it. And then hopefully, we can only hope that the next generation will have a breakthrough. As long as we keep going, keeping at it, chipping away, making the life of our future generation easier so they can break down this wall, We are doing our job. So, keep talking about Palestine. Keep documenting the stories that are shared. And hopefully, our next generation will live in a free world. In all sense of the word. So, take care of yourself, be kind to each other, and free Palestine.